This episode of Scare You to Sleep is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states. This holiday season, the last place you want to be is the naughty list. Rowan Campbell plays a bloodthirsty Santa in Silent Night, Deadly Night. Director Mike P. Nelson's grisly update to the most controversial horror film ever made is only in theaters December 12th. Go to sndnmovie.com for updates. This Christmas, Santa's gonna slay. And welcome to Scare You to Sleep. I'm your host, Shelby Novak, and I'm here to read you some true stories sent in by your fellow listeners. Before we begin, I just wanted to say that there is a new bonus episode out on Patreon. It is a new Ramble You to Sleep, where I talk about observing influencers in their natural habitat at some of the events I've gone to recently. Perfume and a Facebook group that is very specific that I've become incredibly fascinated with. So if you'd like to check that out, go to patreon.com/scareyoutosleep. Now, here are some listener stories. Our first story is from Goose. Hi Shelby, I go by Goose, and I hope you still take submissions. I do. I've been listening on and off for quite some time, but I recently remembered about an encounter I had when I was in my teens. I live on the east coast of Canada, and just off the shore by some old wartime bunkers is a breakwater that leads to an old island. In summer, as young, dumb teens living in an area with the highest tides in the world and not much else to do, you only have a few hours to complete your rite of passage. That is, crossing the breakwater, exploring the island, and booking it back, all while trying not to get caught by coast guards or get your shoes soaking wet. A friend and I had decided once low tide rolled back around, we would make the trek. Everyone around here has heard legends of ghosts on the island, as it was used as a quarantine island for immigrants during times of typhus and again during the Irish potato famine. To get from the breakwater, you have to climb up a steep and muddy embankment with the help of an old algae-covered, might break if you looked at it too hard, rope. I had been there a time before with others, but never experienced anything out of the ordinary. Until this. On the island, there is a 3-story building. On the very top floor, there is a windowless room with a heavy metal door. Too heavy and rusted for us to move much more than an inch in either direction. We were in the adjoining living room type area, looking out over the ocean and enjoying the view as well as the beautiful sunny day. Suddenly, a cool breeze shifted between myself and said friend. The blue sky had darkened and clouded over, almost as if God himself turned the lights out on us. The metal door slammed itself shut several times. We heard a growl, deep and inhuman. I had what felt like 2 massive hands push me out the window I was standing in front of. If it weren't for my friend, who we'll call B, standing next to me and sticking his arm out to catch me, I might not be here writing this to you today. We took off running out of the building and down across the breakwater. We didn't care about getting caught. We didn't care about wet shoes. We didn't care about the bunkers we were planning to party at. We ran back to my older brother's house and didn't stop until we were panting in his living room. After calming down, laughing about it, and trying to rationalize it, we're dumb kids, joint hysteria, overactive imaginations. I took off my sweater and my shirt came with it. Another friend who had come by, we'll call M, shouted, "What is that?" In a blind panic, I pulled my shirt up further, also exclaiming loudly. All over my back, upper arms, and neck were massive, red, and welting handprints. We stood in stunned silence for what felt like ages before we went our separate ways for the day. That night, while trying to sleep, it felt like I was tethered to the room. Every time I closed my eyes, it was like I, myself, was standing in the total darkness of the room, staring out of the metal door, breathing angrily. It felt attached to me by a long, glowing string. This next part sounds so fake, but I couldn't get that tethered feeling to stop until I had my sister-in-law bust out her old spell books handed down to her by her Irish immigrant great-great-grandmother and had us read and practice protection spells, and I started wearing a Protestant cross. That is my submission, an honest-to-God retelling of my encounter with an old spirit who harbored some sort of malice and latched it onto me. Thank you so much, Goose. That was so scary. Ugh, a windowless room with a big metal door. It's just, it seems like a recipe for disaster. Has anyone ever gotten stuck in there? Tell me. These breakwaters sound dangerous too. That's how I know I'm getting older, because I feel like as a teenager I would have been right there with you, exploring, and now I'm like, oh, so dangerous. I'm glad you're okay, Goose, and that is very, very... I've never heard the description of a long, glowing string having you attached to something. That was very fascinating to me. So thank you for that. Our next submission is from Dr. Delicious. Hello, Shelby. First things first, you are awesome. Thank you. And I've been a fan of your show for many years. I'm always so excited when your opening theme music comes on, and I dig the rambles too. All I can bake is banana bread, and I like to put chocolate chips in it. So do I. I just made banana bread with chocolate chips in it last week. Anyways, I came here to finally share my true scary story with you. I've been debating sending this for a while. Here it goes. I was about 14, hanging with some of my friends at my parents' house. We had just been skateboarding outside and went in to grab some drinks. I'm not quite sure how it came up in the conversation, but I asked them if I've ever shown them my mother's creepy doll with no eyes. They said, "What? Cool." I said, "Oh, follow me," and led them to my parents' room, where I pointed at the thing and said, "Over there. Isn't that creepy? It has no eyes." I've always thought it looked like a haunted doll. The doll was this little girl with dark black hair, a red dress, and no eyes. One of my friends said, "It has one eye." I said, "Dude, I'm telling you, it has no eyes." Then I looked at this doll, and it now had one eye. I couldn't believe it. It looked like one of those doll's eyes that can open and shut. It was closed. One of my friends starts to walk closer to it to get a better look and suddenly jumps back and screams, "Dude, it frickin' opened. Did you see that?" "No, it didn't, man," we said. He gets closer and it happens again. "Did you see it that time?" So now the three of us start walking toward it. And once we get about 1.5 feet from it, the eye opened. This was the moment we all lost it, and I've never been more terrified. Now, picture 3 teenage boys screaming and running out of a house like Shaggy, Scooby-Doo, and the gang. We ran all the way to my friend's house screaming like the doll was chasing us. We barge into my friend's house and tell his mother, who thinks we're joking. Meanwhile, we keep on losing our minds, reliving what we just witnessed, saying we all saw it happen multiple times. Holy crap, we all saw it. I call my mother and tell her I am not coming home until she has the doll removed from the house. She says, "You guys are crazy. Its eyes fell into its head many years ago and it has no eyes." She convinces me to come home, but I don't even want to go near the room. She says, "Come over here and look." We walk to the room together. Standing in the doorway with me, she says, "Look, see, it's just an old doll with no eye." And my mother stops short. "You see it, don't you?" I said. My mother gets a puzzled look on her face and she starts to slowly walk toward it. Boom. It opens its eye for her. Now my mother jumps and screams. As she did, though, I noticed something. I hope everyone's ready for the big twist. I noticed where the light in the room was. It turns out the lamp on the desk across the room was projecting a light beam at just the right angle to shine into the eye hole and hit the inside of the head, creating what looked like an eye there. As we all walked towards the doll, we would block the light, creating the terrifying illusion that it opened. I'm turning 40 this year, and I'll never forget that terrible feeling, though. 3 teenagers and a mom all pranked by a light randomly placed in just the right spot. I really hope everyone can enjoy this true story and have a good laugh at our expense. Thank you, Dr. Delicious. P.S. My mother still has the doll, but our little one said it was too scary and she moved it. I'll send a picture if she finds it. Dr. Delicious did send a picture of the eyeless doll. I'll post it on social media if I remember to. This next sweet story is from Jess. I'm not sure if this will make it onto the show because it's more lighthearted and not really scary. Earlier this year, my dog passed away suddenly. One day she was fine, and less than 48 hours later, she was gone. I was, and still am, heartbroken. I got her a week after moving into my first apartment, and for 8 years, it was just the 2 of us together. Asta was the best bad dog. She had so much love for the people she loved and was always ready to party with her dog friends. But she also had serious separation anxiety, which meant she got into a lot of trouble. A few of her most notable achievements: she somehow figured out how to open the refrigerator door and decided to give it a deep clean, would always rearrange pillows and blankets on my bed, and one time, after just having had surgery, dragged a 25-pound bag of food across the room and tore it open. I'll attach some videos because maybe you need a good laugh. My kitchen trash can is movement operated, so if you wave your hand over it, it automatically opens. Asta figured this out and would stretch her neck so her nose would go over the sensor and open it. Smart dog. Shortly after she passed away, the trash can started opening on its own. It was random and always happened when I wasn't in the kitchen. I changed the batteries, did a reset, and even plugged it directly into the wall, but it kept happening. It had to be her. It doesn't happen as much anymore, but whenever it does, I tell her how much I miss her and wish she was getting into trouble in real life. I know there's a very good chance that the trash can is old and glitching, but it's more fun to believe that it's little Asta being a jerk, even in the afterlife. Thank you so much, Jess, for that story. It's very sweet, and thank you for the videos of Asta. You have my condolences. Losing a pet is never easy, and I'm so glad she can stick around and make you laugh still. I've had something similar to this happening to me recently. It isn't a pet, but during Thanksgiving, I was at my aunt's house, and I was in her garage, and I was trying to get down an ice chest, and I was moving through boxes of stuff, and I spotted this very dusty open box of pictures and picture frames and just stuff, and on top of the box of stuff was this old dusty picture, this very old picture from probably the 20s, maybe the 30s. It was sepia, black and white sort of this woman. And I asked her who it was and if I could have it. And she said, yes, that is your great-grandmother. And I was like, oh, well, you're coming home with me, Grandma. And it was in this wooden frame. So I brought it home and I dusted it off and I oiled the frame and I put it on my wall. And also, pretty recently, after I got that picture, it was just days ago, maybe a week ago now, I decided to actually buy some decorations for Christmas. Not many, but I didn't have any from before. So I bought a few little Christmas decorations, including I got some LED candlesticks I have a few brass candle holders that my grandma gave me. And I always keep candlesticks in them, but I can't really light them with my cat around. She's really bad about getting near fire. I know. Anyway, so I finally got some LED ones to be kind of some pretty ambiance, and they're all on a remote, and you click the remote to turn them all on, and you feel very magical because with a click of a button, all of your candles light themselves. I know this technology has been around for a very long time, but I was having fun with it. So anyway, and the candlesticks are in different parts of the room. There are two near that picture. And lately, ever since I got them and put the picture on the wall and everything, one candlestick that's under my great-grandmother's picture will be lit. And it'll be sometimes when I wake up in the morning, or if I just leave the room and come back, it's only the one that's under her picture. Just the one. None of the others have glitched like this or, whatever is happening. And I can still turn it on and off with the remote. I just turn it off. And when I hit on, all of them come on. When I hit off, all of them go off exactly at the same time. That one doesn't falter or go off, after the rest of them. It doesn't do that. It works perfectly. And it's not necessarily every day. It's just, but it's a lot of the time. It's just so bizarre. And I mentioned it to my aunt and my mom, and I mentioned it to a couple friends too. And they were all kind of like, well, maybe it's your great grandma. And my mom and a friend of mine actually also mentioned maybe it's that she appreciates that someone is appreciating her picture for the first time, and who knows how long. I don't know the last time that picture was ever hung up. I don't remember seeing it on anyone's wall growing up, any of my family members. So it's just probably been in a box. My grandmother died last year, and I'm sure it was in a box in her house somewhere because it wasn't on any of her walls. So I don't know. I think maybe great grandma is just hanging around, letting me know she's here, I also I wanted to bury my, I guess it's been a strange week for me, with very unexplainable things, a lot of synchronicity. And God, I didn't expect to do this, but I guess I'm just going to drop my own true, I would say horror, but this wasn't necessarily scary. I don't think it's a glitch in the Matrix either. I'm sure it's just this is just probably a manufacturing thing, but still, I've been having this candle thing happen. Today was the first day I finally told everyone, like my mom, my aunt. I told a couple of my friends about this candle that's been lighting itself. It's electric candle. And so today I decided I wanted to have steak and cake night. I've been working very hard, and I was like, I'm going to have steak and cake night. I'm going to make a steak and make a cake, and it's going to be great. I did make the cake. It's in the fridge right now, but I haven't made the steak. But anyway, I went to go soften some butter for my frosting. I was making a traditional cream cheese frosting. So I bought a new pack of Tillamook butter. And I've also, again, there's just been really strange things happening. Some of it's very personal, so I won't go into it, but strange things have been happening over the last few days to me. And, so I go to open the butter, And you know when you have a new pack of like 4 sticks of butter, maybe to other, like I know Europeans, like I know that your butter comes differently, but we have 4 sticks in a box. And I went to open the box freshly. Like I had to break the little seal, but it was fully sealed box. I went to shake out a stick, kind of like you're shaking a cigarette out of the pack. But I heard like a rattling sound. And I look around and I'm like, what is this rattling sound? Where is this rattling coming from? Like metal rattling. Like in my brain, I pictured like screws rattling around. I was like, where is this coming from? And I go to shake the box again and I realize the rattling is coming from the box, but it's a box of butter. Now, I don't know how butter is where you live, but traditionally, I don't believe most butters rattle as if they're made of metal. So I just go ahead and tip the whole box over to get all sticks out, and out pops 2 quarters. There were 2 quarters in the box. One was, it's a Hawaiian quarter, and the other is an Arizona quarter. I didn't look at what year they're from, but there's 50 cents in the box. I don't know how that happened. Again, I'm sure it was during the manufacturing process, but I don't know how. So yeah, it was one of those things too, where it's like, I don't know, I wonder if anyone's even going to believe me. And I sent a video to a couple of my friends, like, look, here are the quarters and this is what happened. You can see I didn't even fully tear like the top of the box to open the tab. Like it's a brand new box and the bottom is still sealed. So I don't know what happened. So those are my 2 little strange things that have happened to me lately. Well, only 2 of them again. The rest of them are a little, I don't know if I want to share on the show. Sorry, not to be coy. It's just some of them are very wrapped up in very personal things. But anyway, those are my 2. And back to, this is listener stories, not Shelby stories. Let me get back to some listener stories. This episode of Scare You to Sleep is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states. This holiday season, the last place you want to be is the naughty list. Rowan Campbell plays a bloodthirsty Santa in Silent Night, Deadly Night. Director Mike P. Nelson's grisly update to the most controversial horror film ever made is only in theaters December 12th. Go to sndnmovie.com for updates. This Christmas, Santa's gonna slay. Okay, this next one is from Becky B. Hi, Shelby. I hope all is well with you. Thank you so much for reading my first story on your show a few months back. It was so cool hearing it told by you. By now, I have binged almost all episodes. I love the Guided Nightmare episodes. Keep them coming. I'm trying, Becky. I'm really trying. I have a few other experiences I'd like to share and hope you enjoy. I have several, but I think I'll tell you some of the weirdest and the one that scared me so incredibly bad it was life-changing. The first story takes place about 15 years ago. I was staying over at my then boyfriend's house. He lived in this huge, older log-style home out in rural New Brunswick. I think it was built by his family, but a fact I can't really recall. We slept in a spare bedroom, which basically just consisted of a bed and a dresser, which was located on the opposite wall at the foot of the bed. The dresser was decorated with trinkets and china knickknacks, things like little dishes and the like. One night, I was asleep in the bed and woke up to hearing clanking sounds, the sound of those little knickknacks clanking together. I sat completely up and looked at the dresser at the foot of the bed and saw a dark figure standing in front of the dresser with its back to me. From the back, it looked as though this figure was hunched over, working on something, maybe concentrating, as I could make out the elbows outstretched and the clanking continued. Thinking it was my boyfriend sleepwalking or going through something, I whispered out his name. The figure didn't respond, and the clinking continued. I then began to feel around the bed for the blanket to get up and go over to check on him, wondering why the heck he's doing this. When I felt around the bed, my hand landed on the shoulder of my sleeping boyfriend in the bed next to me. I don't remember looking back, as I think in my dazed state I just laid back down and went to sleep. I mentioned it once to a sister, and she agreed and confirmed that they too have experienced some strange things in the house, and there is a family ghost. Another time, in the same room, I was asleep and faintly heard the sound of my water glass sliding across the windowsill next to my bed. I whispered out to the family dog, Sadie, who I thought may be trying to drink from the glass, but it went quiet. I peered over the side of the bed. I could see their sweet chocolate lab asleep on the floor next to the bed. This next experience happened on October 30th, 2016. I remember this date because this experience scared me so bad it's ingrained in my memory. I was 25 at the time, and I was living temporarily back home at my parents', and due to my impromptu move back in, they stuck my bed downstairs in what we once used as an old office, which in reality was the computer room for my millennial friends. I'm in a deep sleep one night, laying on my back, and for reasons I don't know, I woke up out of the blue and lifted my head to look at the foot of the bed. And when I say I screamed, believe me when I say I screamed. Think top of your lungs type scream. What I saw at the foot of my bed, I will never ever forget. The room was completely dark, but in the darkness, I saw a face. The face almost seemed to be either emanating a dim light or almost looked like it was dimly lit from below, but without the shadows on its face because I could only see the shoulders up. It looked like it was just a head and shoulders floating. Whatever this was looked like some sort of clown, but toned down, if that makes any sense. It had on a red flannel collared shirt. I can distinctly remember the collars of the plaid shirt, and some kind of yellow, bushy hair, kind of clown wiggish, but looked more natural. The most disturbing part was the smile on its face. It stared at me, smiling in the dark. I screamed my ever-loving head off, and my dog Charlie, who was in bed with me, immediately jumped up and started barking his head off. To this day, I strain to remember if Charlie began barking before or after I started screaming. I wonder if he sensed this the moment I saw it. I got up and ran upstairs to my parents, yelling that someone was in the house. Of course, by now, the whole house was up due to my shrieking in the night. My dad, probably scared shitless himself, started searching the house. I spent the rest of the night in my mom's bed, with the lights on, curled up to her like a scared little girl. Charlie, of course, never left my side. I kept my eyes on the bedroom door all night, just terrified it would come back. My dad stayed awake downstairs to keep an eye on the house because no one knew what I saw. Even now, 9 years later, I avoid sleeping on my back and looking around my dark bedroom at night if I ever get the urge. I don't know what that thing was or why it was watching me, but I will never forget its smile or weird yellow hair. And I get the sense it took some kind of pleasure from the terror it caused. Thank you again for taking the time to read about my experience, and I hope you enjoyed. I would love to know your thoughts on this weird, smiling, not clown thing. Demon with a sense of humor, maybe? Who knows? Take care, Shelby. Becky B. Oh, Becky. Oh my God. That's gonna give me nightmares. Like, I don't... Look, I do have a theory. I have theories. Don't worry, I have theories. And they're not, it's not a demon. I'm not saying it's not a demon. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what it is. But I do really enjoy the idea of the parallel dimensions and things like that. And sometimes the idea that, ghosts maybe aren't dead people, but they're people from a non-linear, or, time is not linear, and they're from a parallel dimension. There's somehow we kind of slip through and see each other. I know, I didn't even warn you to put on your tinfoil hats before I started talking like this. I apologize. I hope you have them near you. But I think maybe it was that. Especially since you just saw that, because I've heard of things like this too, where there's no haunting going on. It never happens again, but someone will see an apparition, no joke, no denying it, apparition. And they know what they saw. You have such detail for what you saw. So I wonder if it was something like that. I mean, I'd like to think something like that other than a demon. And maybe it's just some sort of, I don't know. It's stuff like that where I wonder if they were just as startled to see you, or if he saw you. I don't know. That's so scary though. That's so scary. That's so scary, Becky. Oh my God. Now I'm scared. And that is where I'm going to wrap up this episode this evening. It's a bit of a shorty this week, folks, because I have some conversations I'm having next week about my workload. Don't worry. But I've told you I'm trying to find the balance between these new gigs and all this and surviving through life. I appreciate your bearing with me. And thank you so much. I pinky promised you I would have an episode on time, and here it is. I do not break a pinky promise. I don't. I'm a woman of my honor. So here it is. Pinky promise fulfilled. Again, it's a little short, but I'm trying to conserve because, I forgot which of you mentioned liking the guided nightmares. I'm really trying hard to write them. They are difficult to write, as I mentioned before. But this winter, I would love to have a lot more of them. For the last week of December and early January, I have a plan to get out some bonus content because I feel like that's a time when a lot of people take time off, and that is no shade. Take your time off, content creators. I get it. I understand. But I would like to have a lot for you because I've been feeling a little bit of the darkness this season, and I know those of you, and I live in Southern California, I can't even imagine for those of you who get actual seasonal depression on top of maybe regular depression. So I wanted to have a lot of content for you because those are kind of those weird weeks between Christmas and New Year's that feel so strange, or even right after New Year's where you're kind of going back to the swing of things and the world is going back to normal, but it doesn't feel normal, and it's a new year, and is there pressure to have New Year resolutions? I personally never do New Year's resolutions. I think they're great. They're great for everyone. I've never done them. I have nothing against them. I've just never done them. I've never had the urge to be this year's, I'm gonna do 20 push-ups, be able to do that by the end of the year. I don't know. I feel like I just never do them. But there's a lot of pressure put on the beginning of a year. There's a lot of pressure put on the end of the year. You're thinking about all the things you didn't do, all the things you will do next year. What happened this year? Was it a bad year? If it was a bad year, then I'm so sorry, and it will get better next year. I promise. I pinky promise, and I don't break a pinky promise. We've gone over this. So I will have a lot more bonus content that I'm really trying to fire up in the old kiln to be ready for this winter. I'm going to stock you up for the winter like a bear going into hibernation. It's been weird. Clearly, I'm in a weird mood. I'm going to go eat my steak and my cake. If you're wondering about the cake, by the way, it is a chocolate cake with cream cheese frosting, which I'm going to add some lingonberry jam to when I eat it, because I was going to the center of the cake, and then I forgot. I was a little terrified. I was a little thrown off by several things in my life recently. Plus, you find quarters in your butter, and you just get a little spacey. I'm airheaded enough as it is. I don't need quarters in my butter. If anyone has any ideas about any of my weird haunted stuff I talked about, feel free to comment down below on Spotify or YouTube or any of the social media. Let me know. Let me know if you have any comments about any of the stories we read tonight. I read tonight. Me and my great-grandma reading stories tonight. Okay, I'm gonna go. I've done 2 nights in a row of going out. I had three activities, events I had to go to within 2 days. I was out 2 nights in a row. As I said in my ramble, I am a homebody. I'm not a goer outer, I'm a stayer inner. I will go out because I know it's important for, my brain and for work reasons, and just being social is good. It's good. I will force myself to go out, and I have a lot. I've had so much social time. I've met so many new people, and it's been beautiful. And I felt beautiful in those nights, and I had such a great time. But my social battery, every battery in my body is running low, and I need to go recharge. So please follow the show on Patreon, patreon.com/scareyoutosleep. Follow the show on social media at scareyoutosleep. If you'd like to follow me personally, I mostly stick around Instagram. You can follow me at Shelby B. Novak. Go like my pictures from the last couple days of going to these events. Give me some internet points to give me some dopamine. What else? If you have a true story, please send it in. This is the first time in a while I've actually been running a little low on true stories in a long while. I was surprised. It's not something I'm even used to anymore. And I was running a little low. So if you've had anything weird happen to you, it doesn't have to be paranormal. It could be something weird. We've had a few that are very real, very clearly real, not questionable in the least. They are not paranormal at all, and I love those as well. So please send them in. And what else? What else do I usually say? You can send those to scareyoutosleep@gmail.com. Please go watch the Bloody Disgusting podcast if that's your thing. This last week I had my buddy Pacific Obadiah on the show. Xena was out, so we talked about the video game Mouthwashing. Oh, what a creepy little game. And, check out the Mayfair Watcher Society. I was on episode 2. It's called Heritage. And I'm on it with John Grills from the Creepy podcast. And a lot of you are fans of his show as well. I saw because of your Spotify Wraps, which, by the way, every year Spotify Wrapped, it just blows my mind. There's so many of you. I feel so... I wish I could put you all in a room or in a venue because it's too big for a room. And just... I don't know, give you all a hug, or if you're not into hugs, some finger guns, a peace sign, something. I just want to kiss you all on the forehead, but that's weird. So I shouldn't have said that. That's weird, but I do feel that way in my heart. And so I lost the plot. I got lost in the sauce. I don't know what I was talking about. I've got to go. I've got to go. Follow me on all the stuff. Oh, that's right. Mayfair Watcher Society. Yeah, go listen to that episode. I did a bonus episode too that came out between seasons where I played a really asshole true crime YouTuber, and it's me and my fellow asshole true crime YouTuber. It was so much fun. And it's not out yet, but I wrote an episode of Mayfair Watcher Society this season. And I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited. You guys are going to listen and be like, yeah, that's so you. That's so you. I did a whole episode about the phenomena that I made this episode about. On this show, I did a whole episode. You'll see. I'm not sure when it comes out, but I will let you know. So you can go listen to that and put in the comments, wow, that writer, she's going places. Okay, I'm going to go. Go drink your water. I know it's winter and it's harder to remember, but just do it, okay? Just do it. Stretch as well. I've been having a lot of lower back issues, and a lot of it has been alleviated by stretching. Personally, this is a personal journey. I'm not telling you your back pain will be alleviated by stretching. Don't tell me that, oh, not mine. I'm not talking about yours. I'm talking about mine. So please stretch. Stretching is important. Stretch to the best of your abilities. Drink water. And go get some sleep. Sweet dreams. This episode of Scare You to Sleep is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states. This holiday season, the last place you want to be is the naughty list. Rowan Campbell plays a bloodthirsty Santa in Silent Night, Deadly Night. Director Mike P. Nelson's grisly update to the most controversial horror film ever made is only in theaters December 12th. Go to sndnmovie.com for updates. This Christmas, Santa's gonna slay.